So Apple might have just quietly killed the iPhone flip-off before it even saw the light of day. And oddly enough, the reason actually makes a lot of sense once you break it down. Before we get into that though, quick favor, around 90% of you guys watching these videos still are not subscribed, which is kind of wild considering how often we dive into Apple leaks, rumors, and long-term analysis like this. So if you enjoy this kind of content, hit subscribe and tap the hype button as well. Right, foldables. So according to a new report from the Weibo leaker Instant Digital, Apple actually explored the idea of making a flip-style foldable iPhone, but eventually decided to abandon the concept because it simply did not offer enough compelling reasons to exist. And that's a pretty fascinating admission if true, because for years, people have assumed Apple would eventually release two types of foldable iPhones, just like Samsung does today, one larger book-style foldable similar to the Galaxy Fold, and one clamshell flip phone similar to the Galaxy Flip or Moto Razr. But apparently Apple looked at the flip design and basically went, why? The main advantage of a clamshell foldable is that it becomes smaller when you close it. That's the entire pitch. You get a normal sized smartphone when it's open, and a compact little square when it's folded in half. And according to this report, Apple felt that simply making the phone smaller in your pocket wasn't a strong enough reason to build an entirely new product category. And well, I understand Apple's perspective, because if you look at how Apple approaches hardware usually, they rarely launch something purely because it's technically possible. They normally want a clear-cut use case advantage, something that genuinely changes how the device works or how people use it. A foldable iPad that becomes a tablet? That makes sense. A foldable phone that becomes a mini tablet? That also makes sense. But a regular phone that folds purely to save a bit of pocket space? Apple may have decided that's just not revolutionary enough. And there's another problem with the clamshell design that apparently made things even worse. Space. When a phone folds in half horizontally, the hinge sits directly in the middle of the device, which creates some serious internal layout challenges. Batteries have to be split into smaller sections, camera modules have less room, and suddenly you're trying to squeeze in flagship hardware into essentially two thin slabs connected by a hinge. And according to the leak, this design created limitations for battery capacity and camera hardware. And if there are two things Apple usually refuses to compromise on with the iPhone, it's battery life and camera quality. But yes, some of you guys might be saying the Galaxy Flip has a big battery and decent cameras, so what's stopping Apple? I don't know, but that's what the leak says. So imagine the situation Apple engineers were looking at internally. You build a flip iPhone, it folds nicely, but now it has a smaller battery, less internal space, and potentially weaker cameras than the regular iPhone. Also can fold into a square that fits in your pocket slightly better. At that point, someone in Cupertino probably raised their hand and asked the obvious question, why not just make a smaller iPhone instead? Which brings us to a very interesting part of the story, because Apple did actually try smaller iPhones and it didn't go very well. Back in 2020 and 2021, Apple released the iPhone 12 mini and 13 mini, both with a 5.4-inch display, and from a tech enthusiast perspective, these phones were brilliant. Compact, powerful, easy to use with one hand, basically everything people say they want. The problem is, when it comes to actual sales numbers, they just didn't perform that well, and because of that, Apple eventually discontinued the mini range entirely. So if small iPhones already struggle to sell in large numbers, Apple might be looking at the flip iPhone and thinking, are we really solving a real demand here? Because the clamshell foldable is basically just a small phone when it's closed, which overlaps heavily with what the mini range was already trying to do, and Apple's already learned that lesson once. Now, to be clear, that does not mean Apple's abandoning foldables entirely. In fact, the opposite is happening. Multiple reports from reliable sources like Mark Gurman and various supply chain analysts still suggest Apple's first foldable iPhone is very much in development, and it's expected to launch in September. But instead of the flip design, Apple seems to be focusing on a book-style foldable. So when closed, it would function like a normal iPhone, but when opened, you'd get a much larger internal display, potentially around the 7-inch range, and that's a completely different proposition. Because now the folding mechanism adds actually something useful, more real estate. Suddenly you can run multiple apps side by side, watch videos on a larger display, edit photos more comfortably, or even get close to a tablet-like experience. That's the kind of upgrade Apple usually looks for. Not just different hardware, but a different way of using the device. Also, you've got to remember, Apple rarely launches multiple experimental form factors at the same time. They usually prefer to release one clear flagship product, see how the market responds, and then expand the range later. So the likely scenario right now looks something like this. First, Apple launches the book-style iPhone Fold in September, they see how people react, they watch how developers adapt iOS to folding screens, they analyze the sales numbers, and only after that would they consider whether other shapes, like a flip phone, actually make sense. Because if the first foldable iPhone becomes popular, suddenly the entire category starts to feel more mainstream. Developers optimize apps, Apple refines the software, and the technology matures. At that point, maybe a flip-style device becomes more viable, or maybe Apple still decides it's unnecessary. And this is where Apple's philosophy with new products really becomes obvious. They don't just chase every form factor that competitors experiment with. They wait until they believe the benefits outweigh the compromises. Sometimes that patience works out brilliantly, other times it means they arrive late to the party. But when Apple does eventually enter a category, they usually do it with a very clear purpose. And in the case of foldables, the purpose seems to be expanding screen space, not shrinking the phone. Now personally, I can see both sides of this. On one hand, flip phones are undeniably cool. There's something satisfying about snapping a phone shut after a call like it's 2003 again, and the compact form factor does make pockets and bags a bit easier to deal with. But on the other hand, if I'm buying a foldable device, I'd probably want the bigger display experience that something like a book-style foldable offers. That's where the real productivity and entertainment benefits come in. So if Apple had to pick one direction to focus on first, prioritizing the larger foldable probably makes sense. Of course, none of this is officially confirmed yet. Apple prototypes all sorts of strange hardware internally, and many of those devices never see the light of day. Engineers test different ideas, evaluate the compromises, and then quietly move on if the products don't meet Apple standards. So the flip iPhone may have simply joined the long list of Apple concepts that never escape the lab. But even if that's the case, the fact Apple's still experimenting with foldables at all tells us something very important. The company clearly sees foldable displays as a serious part of the future. They're just being extremely careful about how they enter that space. And if Apple's first foldable iPhone really does arrive this year, like many reports do suggest, that launch could completely reshape the foldable market overnight. Because when Apple finally commits to a new category, things tend to move pretty quickly after that. Developers pay attention, competitors respond, consumers suddenly become more curious, and what used to feel like niche technology starts becoming mainstream. So even though the flip iPhone might be off the table for now, the bigger foldable iPhone still feels very much alive. And honestly, that's probably the more interesting device anyway. But I'm curious what you guys think. Would you actually want an iPhone that flips in half, or would you rather see Apple focus entirely on the larger foldable? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you made this far, clearly you enjoy these Apple deep dives, so hit subscribe and tap the hype button before you go. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.